Broadcasting from the depths of outer space.
Hello, I'm alive. I don't know what's going on.
By your command. Fascinating.
God damn you all to hell!
It's the Sci-Fi Podcast.
This is episode 11 of the Solar One Sci-Fi Podcast. Michael Ball with Martin Fowler, the sci-fi encyclopedia of knowledge, up in London with his dodgy internet on his show last weekend, which was very funny, which will be featured on a future bloopers show, which we'll incorporate into the series. How are you, Martin? How have you been doing?
Thank you very much for that grand scientific science fiction introduction.
Well, there you
go.
You are. I think that I'm pretty knowledgeable, but I think there are certain aspects that you're always telling me about series I've never heard about, which is really good because I'm always up for seeing new series. And I am still going through The Expanse, though. I mean, about episode 5 of that now, season 2, and it's very good. So we'll have a big conversation about that once I've caught up with the episodes you've seen. So you've told me before we started recording that you're putting together something in your place. It was a table or something. What are you putting together?
I'm building. I've got one of them kit desks. It's an L-shaped one, and
okay.
I set the legs wrong. I went off script. I thought, oh, it's done. That were quick, and then I realised to put all the legs in the wrong order and had to dismantle it. And my drill ran out of power. So I'm like,
that's the thing about that. I mean, they always run out just when you're about to finish, and then you need to charge it for another. And they take ages to charge, which is really annoying. So yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, my end, I've been 3D printing lots of Starfleet ships for my wall. I've got the Enterprise NX-01, the original, the A, B, C, D, E, the Voyager, the Defiant, the Ares from Axanar, and that's what I've got so far. But then my gold pen has run out of ink, so I've got to get some more ink. But good fun, and it's nice to make my room look a bit more.
Can you 3D print me a big desk?
I could try to. Unfortunately, it would have to be in so many bits that it would take you about 2 years to put all the bits together, like a jigsaw puzzle.
I'll leave it then.
So maybe that's done. Okay, mate. So let's first of all, let's go into the news and let's catch up with what's been going on this week. So here we go.
Working.
Solar Sci-Fi News. Alright, so we've had another episode of Star Trek Picard, another episode of Doctor Who. I did catch your review of the latest episode. I thought it was a good one. Just run by us your thoughts about it and then I'll join in.
I was quite, to be honest, somebody said something in the comments there. He said, one thing about this series, you don't know what to expect.
Very, very up and down with the episode quality.
Yeah, and I thought you just hit that right on the head.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was very good. I mean, obviously there was a couple of problems in there, but 90% okay.
I think that the main problem from my perspective was that the resolution of the threat from this entity. What was his name? Zenith? What was his name?
Zelon.
Great character. I think Zelon. Sounds like Mekon. He was good. But I think his character, he should have been like, and you did mention this on your review, that he should have been more of a season arc sort of character or a recurring character because he was strong. The resolution was wrapped up too quickly with his it's like his opposite or something. They were together but they were kept separate or something.
What happened, for what I can remember, they were two cosmic entities. They were like, because they did mention the Cosmic Guardians, the Black and White Guardian and the Celestial Toymaker, which I quite like that. Yes. And the Eternals as well.
Yes, some really good classic references there. Which is nice.
And they're of that sort of persuasion, like they represent one aspect of something, and they found two planets and played. Yeah, like they got them all slaughtering each other, and they got them all fighting each other. Then I assumed the people on the planet figured it out.
They worked it out.
They evolved and became just as powerful as them, and because he did a runner. And they trapped her in between two planets.
That's right.
Which I found fascinating. I mean, he was an amazing villain.
He was. Kudos to the guy who played him. He was very good.
I mean the finger thing. Yeah.
No,
going
good. No, that was, and the fingers of people. No, it felt very classic. It felt like it's definitely one of the strongest episodes I've seen in a long time for originality, and it's all new characters. It was good.
It had. I mean, I did like the mental health thing, but I think they took it. It's. Like with his friend and that, Ryan's friend, I like that where he went to that group and he started talking. I thought, yeah, that's the right message to get across. And then suddenly we just dragged it out on the Yaz and the policewoman and Bradley Walsh's character Graham talking to her, and she was like she couldn't give him an answer. I thought there was no need for all that. Where he went to that group was enough.
I think I got the impression that they actually did that element just to fill up the story a bit, because they ran out of the actual, because the main villains were killed off or trapped or whatever that was at the end. That they kind of had to fill it up for the last 10 minutes, and then they went back to the dreams with Yaz, with the police officer. But I still thought it was okay.
I like how the Doctor. The Doctor's new force ability, levitating sonic screwdrivers now.
Yeah, I didn't like that bit. That doesn't really fit to me.
It was all a bit handy, that was. But the Doctor definitely screwed him over, and I did like the twist where the girl from Aleppo in the past in Syria, she conquered her fears, and the creature they took from her mind, which were killing everybody and taking people, they trapped in the globe with them two, which I thought it was a very fitting punishment for them both.
I agree. No, it was good. It was original. It was well written, and yes. I think most people agree that this season has been a lot stronger than the last season, which is, of course, that was not hard to do. But I think really, my perspective is, whereas in old Who, you would always think, most episodes are in the middle. It seems this season is just very extremes. It's very random, and sometimes they hit it and they knock the ball out of the park, and other times they don't.
I think they've done very well. I mean, this is one of these episodes where you will talk about it. It's like the Doctor Who episode. It's like we've had two standout episodes.
I thought Spyfall was quite good as well, that two-parter.
Yes.
So we've had 6 now?
Yes.
Or have we had 7? No, we've had
6.
No, we've had 6. We've got 3 more. It's all right. It's Doctor Who. I mean, I still think. Apparently the ratings are quite low again for this episode. So I do think I've got the feeling that the Doctor's days are numbered with regard to how long it's going to be continue to be until they put it on hiatus again. I mean, how long do you think it will carry on until it's put on hiatus? I think we talked about this briefly last week.
Could she be the last Doctor of this decade?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I hope not. But the thing is, in the end, Doctor Who is so big. Same with Star Trek. You could just go into so many old episodes that if it does stop, you got 700 plus episodes of Doctor Who. You got 700 plus episodes of Star Trek. And so, it's a shame if it stops. But if it does stop, then I won't get bored if I fancy watching some Doctor Who. So out of 10, I would probably rate this episode as 7.5, maybe 8.
At 8, I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah, 7.58 to me, so similar to you. It was a good story. I want to see it again, because I always see things a bit differently on a different perspective on the second time round. But for what it's worth, a good episode. I was entertained. It was quite well written, quite well directed, and a good villain of the week. So well done for everyone involved with that episode for this week. And it's a shame we've only got 3 episodes. Maybe at the end of the season we'll do a proper season episode reviewing the whole series and talking about each episode, breaking it down or something. We'll think about. So if you've had to do
definitely.
that, let me know about that.
I think that'd be rather good, actually.
Let's do that in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We'll do a Doctor Who special.
Yes.
Which moves us then to you mentioned a couple of series as well, but let's quickly go into that episode of Star Trek Picard, episode 3. Tell me what you think.
Exemplary. What more can I say?
Okay, I wasn't quite so into this one. It was good, but I think one thing I'm missing is I don't know. I would really like it if they had a Federation starship. I know it's not that based on that series, but I didn't like this new ship that they've got. What did you think of this new character? This Han Solo sort of character with his EMH.
Captain Rio, ex-commander.
What do you think of him?
I mean, it was all a bit testosterone and macho-ness when we met him, wasn't it? When he was, he's got a hologram that looks like him.
He's got more than one. He's got an ENH.
Is there another one?
Yeah, one was Irish. Right. One was Irish and one was English, I think. He's got an EMH and he's also got like an ENH or something.
Yeah, and they all look like him.
Yeah, but you got to tell by different accents, which is a bit weird. But
I mean, it's a bit egotistical, isn't it?
Well, yeah. But mind you, Lewis Zimmerman did the same with the EMH original.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
So,
but I mean, he was sat there when Picard beamed aboard the ship, and he sat there with a piece of metal sticking out of his shoulder.
That's right.
And he's drinking and smoking a what they call a stogie, a cigar, and having a glass of whiskey. And I thought, oh, come on, and Picard sat there, not impressed with any of it, and goes, "No, you're Starfleet. You can say what you want, but you are Starfleet. Look how you keep this ship."
Yes, that's right.
Did you see the bit when he nearly sat in the command chair and he stopped himself?
Yeah, he did. He was so used to it. Yeah, that was quite funny. Like I said, I'm not sure yet. I mean, like I said, it was all right, but I need to see a bit more of this series rather than stopping. That's the problem. I mean, if you like binge watch a whole series, then you can really. But then we've got to wait a week, and then each week you're wondering how it's going to go. But I mean, I think 7 and 9 is going to be in it soon, which will be interesting.
I think it's episode 5. I think it's about episode 5. I thought, where's Riker? I've seen I bet he's in final episodes,
Well, in the clips I've seen, it looks like Picard's back in his vineyard. So whether they're going to go back and forth rather than, because it gives the impression this last episode that they're going to be going off to find this
Grey Cloud.
Yeah, whatever that is, and sort of get on with that. But I don't know whether Picard's going to head back to Earth from time to time and deal with these issues. I don't know.
Well, the team's coming together, isn't it, now? The ones that are going to be with him for the next couple of years, they're all coming together now, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, so far I like the female scientist. I think she's good. The one.
Yeah,
with the blonde hair.
I think she's working for that. Well, she's being used by the Commodore.
By the Commodore, yeah, who we don't know quite the motives of the Commodore yet either.
No.
And of course, we also saw Hugh Borg for the first time for a long time.
Did. What's going on there? Because they got left on that planet in descent, didn't they? So what's...
Well, the last time we saw him, he had a group of Borg who couldn't go back to the collective, and he was starting a new group, like an individual kind of former Borg group, similar to what we've seen in some aspects, but we don't quite know what exactly is going on the Borg cube. They're doing experiments. They seem to be taking Borg out of stasis, but there's obviously a lot going on. And then you've got this Romulan who's the lover of the Data's daughter character and his motives, and he's got a sister who was Starfleet last week, and now she was back as a full Romulan this week. And they seem to have quite a weird relationship, so it's too early to tell.
He's going to betray her.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, but we don't. I don't know yet. I need to see more of it,
because I think he's going to fall in love with the android. I do. I think I could be wrong, but he's going to get feelings for her. So something's going to happen.
Yeah, maybe so. What do you think of there was a scene where we see Picard 15 years earlier in the old...
I love that.
In a new type of uniform we'd never seen.
I loved it.
I thought it was... Did you notice that they de-aged Picard in that scene?
Yeah, no, I didn't really think about it.
Yeah, no, he was de-aged. They actually did de-age him. So it was subtle, very subtle. But he did look a bit younger than he did in his present tense version we saw, which is quite good. And then, of course, he had another commander in his previous command who kept calling him JL. What do you think of her?
I think she's... I mean, obviously, she's bit pissed with him, but I think she'll stick it out with him, and I do like her character.
Yeah.
She fits in with Han Solo guy. It's like you've got these two Starfleet badasses, because there's some kind. She was drummed out because she knew about this conspiracy that were going on. So this has been going on for a while. Whatever it is, it covers 15 years.
Yeah, I think.
And then there's there's him with the ship. Why did they write his ship off and it were all covered up?
Do you think you're going to get a lot more flashback scenes?
Yeah, I think it's all connected. I do. This is like, they bring them together.
Yeah, I mean, you wonder whether they're going to sort of reveal it slowly and sort of by the puzzle and sort of slowly and tell the audience how it all works out. Well, I suppose they must do. That's how they do these sort of series. But I am sort of like really up in the air as to what they'll do with this series and how it will sort of go from one episode to the next, because it's already episode 4 coming up and they've only got 10 episodes this season. So and some people saying there might even be a link over with Discovery. There'll be some sort of crossover with the Red Angel or something, so which could be interesting. So a lot to sort of wonder about.
I still, it's like normal. I think by episode 5 we will have a bit of more of a picture of what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, but we know that the season's going to have a second season. But
yes.
To be honest with you, I mean, Picard, Patrick Stewart does look quite frail now. So I know it sounds a bit, but I'm just hoping he's going to be sort of like well enough to sort of finish the series. He really has aged in the last few years, I think.
Well, he's 80, I think.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, yeah, that's true. But what I'm saying is that you know how sometimes an actor or a person just suddenly ages quite fast when they get to a certain age.
Yes, yeah.
And he just strikes me as really aging quite fast in the last few years. But as you say, if he's nearly 80 in real life, I mean that's, he's no spring chicken.
Well, he were 40. He were in his 40s at Next Gen.
I think he was about 47 when he started.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So that's where are we now? Yeah. So So that you'd be.
He's near 80, so he's around about that.
Well,
but look, I think he looks good for his age. But you're right. I mean, I don't think they can have him jumping around anymore, can they?
Well, they're seeing him hit by an explosion and fall to the floor. Plus,
you're right. He did.
Plus, he was fighting those Romulan, not Tashiar, the other version, the Romulans.
The Jack Flashes.
The jumping Jack Flashes. Jumping Jack Flash. So there we go. Interesting. Apparently, also, I think you might have posted this. Apparently, Discovery might be going for 5 seasons as well.
Yes, I read it. I think I posted it today.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that?
I think it's looking like that. They've got a 5-year story arc apparently.
So, do you think? If it's a 5-year story arc, whether it will stay in the future, I don't know. But I think they finished production in the next few months, I think, because it's going to be released in the autumn, isn't it?
We're not getting Discovery till autumn?
I don't think so. I don't know.
That is so annoying. It's like awful. We're not
that's
getting
what I'm
autumn
saying,
till
because,
autumn.
I mean, and normally, I think the first times, they're actually often, although it's on Hulu now, in the past, they've been on at a similar time as like competing over each other.
Isn't it on channel one of Freeview channels now? First season.
I don't know. Is it? What you mean in the UK?
Yeah, to start. I think is it E4 or Horror? It's one of the channels that started showing it. Because my friend he ain't got Sky or he don't bother with internet. He's watching it on I forgot what channel. One of them Freeview channels.
Okay.
It's only first season though.
Yeah. Well, the first season was a bit weak for me, but even so, it gives you an idea as to how it goes and stuff. So, yeah, lots of Star Trek stuff going on. They've got that Lower Decks cartoon coming up at some point as well. They still want to make the Section 31 series, which I'm not that interested in at the moment. I'm not very... I really want the Pike series. I think the Pike series would be fantastic, where it's proper Star Trek with Pike on the Enterprise, going on a 5-year mission, and I'd like some more stories of the week. I think
that I'm a big proponent for Pike series because
me too.
The Pike series will be the jewel in the crown of this decade Star Trek. I mean, the others are great, but to get back to what it's truly about, that he's on his 5-year mission with the Enterprise.
Oh, I'd love that. I mean,
just going to put a story arc in, but
just make it like every week, and there's new stories. And Anson Mount, who played Pike, I thought was fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic actor.
I really do. I could really watch that. I could really look forward to that more than Discovery, more than
when I watched Discovery season 2, I found first 2 episodes quite dull.
Right.
And then he turned up, and suddenly, the minute he turned up, that programme rocked for me. It's how it should be. I just don't think Discovery works around her character.
The problem is,
with Lorca.
Yeah, the problem is it's focused too much on her character, and she's not the most interesting character in the world.
No, she ain't. I mean, I do like her character, don't get me wrong, but it's like, it was like when Lorca turned up in Discovery. When he turned up, it all changed. The whole thing changed. So it's about the man in the big chair with the rest of the crew all together, and that's what they need to stay with.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll have to see, but I've got a good feeling about this Pike series if it comes along. Section 31, I'm not so bothered about, but I'd still watch it. You know, it's still more Star Trek, so yeah.
I'm sort of hoping. I mean, it's going to be. I like Michelle Yeoh, I think she's great, but what's it going to be? 007 in space?
Yeah, and I don't see whether it's Michelle's. She's the focus of this series. I mean, she's okay, but I get a bit sick and tired of her one-liners and stuff like that. Yeah, we know you're from the Mirror Universe, love, but I mean, you know, it's. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one, but
isn't she in the future now?
That's what I was wondering, because she was on the ship that would go in the future. So, how could she come back? Unless it's a prequel to where she ends up, you know, it's set before the ship goes to the future or something.
Well, I hate to say it, they're coming back.
What's that?
They're coming back. I hate to say it.
Who's coming? Oh,
Discovery's coming back.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's possible. It would have to be for her character, unless they can think of a way around it. But I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are glad that the Discovery is no longer in the 23rd century after all the continuity errors. I personally think it's good as well for them to explore a new time frame which we've never been to before. That's interesting.
In 1,000 years' time, in that when the temporal, what is it? The
Temporal Cold War.
Yeah, isn't that like the Temple Starfleet people? Don't they exist 1,000 years in the future?
Yeah, I thought they were from the 29th century, weren't they?
But there's so lots, isn't there? There were ones from 31st and 29th, weren't there?
Yeah, because there was one on Enterprise. There was also one on Imperial Voyager as well. So I don't know. I honestly don't know about that. I mean, but that could play a key, I suppose, into it. The temporal. I don't know. We'll have to see. So there we go. So anything else that you come across that you want to share with us?
Apart from getting Superman the series now.
Oh God, what now? Another
one?
And
he's got 2 kids and he's married. I'm not making this up, honestly.
God. I mean,
the synopsis were released today, and he gets laid off from the Daily Planet, and it's about him and 2 kids and Lois Lane.
What?
I'm not making this up. I'm being serious. This is what I read today.
Well, I remember that Clark Kent. There was a series in the 90s. I mean, like I said, I'm not the hugest what's it called? Superhero character. There's one in the Lois and Clark, The New Adventures. I remember that one with Terry Hatcher.
Yeah,
that was in the 90s. And then, of course, they brought back Superman for some new films, which, like I said, you liked Superman versus Batman, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
I thought it was terrible.
I loved it.
I honestly, I mean, you know, it's like you and me and the Incredible Hulk and stuff. It's just, although we're both sci-fi fans, we don't like exactly the same things.
Well, back in late 90s, they sort of worked out that Lois Lane would figure out he was Superman. She's a journalist. It wouldn't take her long.
Yeah, but she did that. She did that.
They evolved his cat. They got married and had kids, super kids.
But they did that in Superman 2. Well, no, Superman 3, didn't they? And I know her memory got wiped at the end. But she did work out that Superman. But then he sort of like gave her a kiss at the end, and then she lost her memory or something.
Yes.
Do you remember that? But I don't know. Like I said,
when could he do that? I mean, this new superpower he had, you know.
And if he's got kids, would they then be half Superman? Would they have certain powers? I don't know.
Well, yeah, there will, but it's kids in comics. They've got superpowers. They're like super kids.
Super kids, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Well, it's got to go somewhere, hasn't it?
well, I mean, if you see it, let me know about it if they make it. I'm a bit underwhelmed by that, but like I said, it's. I'm not the biggest superhero fan. I don't mind Superman, Christopher Reeve, but like I said, I do need to see things like the Avengers and stuff. But it's just, I look at it and it comes on my list of films I could watch, and I just think, maybe next week, and then it's like 6 months have gone past, and then I think about it again, and I still haven't put it. I will do it though, especially if you give it a recommendation. So there we go.
Well, it's all part of the Arrowverse. It's all part of the Arrowverse, and
what's the Arrowverse? What's that?
Well, it's Flash, Supergirl, Arrow. They all cross over, and Black Lightning, and they've had this big event called Crisis where the multiverse got destroyed. Don't ask. It's big.
I'm getting lost already. So you're saying that someone has an arrow up their bottom? Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yes. Yes.
Okay.
But he died and he become a cosmic entity or some end of it. Because they had this thing called Crisis.
Right.
And all the parallel Earths became one. I watched the 5 parts and it was terrible. So.
Okay. So yeah. Well, I like parallel universe stories, but this sounds like it's a very convoluted way of getting all these respected characters to interact.
Yes. It is.
Even though I don't know it, that's the first impressions I'm getting from your explanation.
Yes, well, I tell you to watch them, but each series is 22 episodes. So
no, I haven't got time. I do not have. Like I said, I'm trying to watch The Expanse, but even that I haven't got time to sort of like watch a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I like it though. The Expanse is definitely it's very good special effects in that series. The space scenes are fantastic.
I do recommend you should watch Watchmen, the TV series.
I've heard that. I've heard the Watchmen.
A friend of mine started watching it. He said it's spectacular.
What's that about?
It's like a world of dark heroes set in our world. There's a lot to explain about it, but it's worth a look. You should watch the film. It's worth it.
Okay, thank you for that. I'll give that a go.
But Jeremy Irons is in it. I honestly take too long to explain it.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Plus, it's full of twists and turns. So, but the one superhero series I do recommend should watch on Amazon is The Boys.
The Boys. Okay.
Yeah, it's 8 parts. Carl Urban's in it, and it's imagine a world of superheroes exist in our world today, but it's full of flaws.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's very good.
And I recommend you should watch the Groundhog Day series, based like Groundhog Day, Russian Doll.
Well, is that on Amazon?
I don't know what it is. I've got a copy of it, but I mean, like I said, I can't remember where you can actually watch it. Whether it's actually on YouTube, it might be on YouTube, for I know. But it's I'll if I can find a link to you, I'll let you know about it because it's a very good series. It's only about 8 to 10 episodes long, but although it's I like the idea of time loops and stuff like that. But and another one you should check out is the original one with Kurtwood Smith called 12:01 p.m. about this guy, and he just literally it's lunchtime and he's stuck in an hour loop and he gets more and more desperate, and it's just 20-minute long. It's a short thing. I recorded it on Channel 4 in 1991. I've still got a copy of it, and I love it. And Kurtwood Smith was a Star Trek actor. He played Anorak. He played Anorax in Voyager, and he also played a Cardassian in DS9. And also he was the president in Star Trek 6. Do you know Kurtwood Smith? He's a good actor. He was also in RoboCop as well. He's well known. If you saw him, you know who I'm talking about.
You mean not RoboCop, the TV series?
No, he was the assassin in the original RoboCop movie.
Ah, right.
He's the one that shot him.
Yeah, and him with the glasses. He's a good actor.
Yeah. I think his name's
I know you're on
Smith.
about now.
Well, he's
the one that 70s show.
Yeah, and he's in this. He's really, although it's like it's a short. It's such a good one. I'll have to send you a copy of that. It's really good, so check it out. Actually, I think that's on YouTube as well, so check it out. Right,
check it out.
We'll do. Check it out. So I think now we should go into the Cellular Sci-Fi Focus of the Week. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. It's the Solar Sci-Fi Focus
of the week.
Right, so this week we are focusing on the 60s classic series, and this is the one that you thought of, The Time Tunnel. So let me go into it first, because normally I ask you first. I came across it, I think it was quite late when I watched it, but it used to be on Channel 4, I think it was, in the afternoons at some point. At some point, I think it was on Channel 4, and was it Channel 4 or was it BBC 2?
It was on a Sunday when they were showing all the early Irwin Allen stuff from Voyage to Lost in Space.
What channel was it? BBC 2 or Channel 4?
Channel 4 on the Sunday.
It was Channel 4. I was right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. And it was a great series about these two scientists in this. I think it was a military establishment. They create this device to send them through time, and then of course after the first episode, spoiler. They get stuck, and it's every week. It's them trying to get them back home, and then they're encountering historical figures, trying to sort things out. It starred what's his name?
James Darren.
James Darren as one of the characters. That's it. So great series. Tell me what you think of it.
Project TikTok, Time Tunnel is one of the most insane series ever made, and I love it. And I've studied Time Tunnel, and I'm obsessed with it. The set. Did you in the first episode when you saw Project TikTok? Did you see the installation they were all in?
No, I can't remember it.
It will blow your mind. I think it were 8,000 floors deep or something.
That's right. It was ridiculous. It was like yes, that's right. And I forgot about that. After the first episode, he didn't sort of like remember that. But as you say, the first episode shows you.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous. It was really crazy.
They had this like power thing in the middle of this like 8,000 floor thing. It was thousands of floors deep.
Yeah.
And they were all different. All to power this tunnel, and then you got down. You had this weird gravity lift that took you down all these floors to the bottom, and there was the time tunnel. It was 200 foot long. It covered 2 sound stages when they built it.
But it reminds you of in real life that kaleidoscope thing, that thing that collides atoms.
Yes,
that's a huge thing as well. And that goes round in a big loop, and it goes round in miles in distance. I mean, how long?
The Hadron Collider.
That's the one. So that was a similar thing. That must have been, how long did it take them to make that? But it was a good concept. I mean, the first episode they end up on the Titanic, I think, didn't they?
Yeah. The interesting thing, it got cancelled, and I've got it on Blu-ray. There's about 30 episodes in first season.
Yeah, a good long season.
There was a planned sequel, which they do release some bits about it. But it did finish in a time loop, because in the final episode they end up on the Titanic.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, in the final episode, yeah. They're back on Titanic.
Is that what actually was made, or have I missed that? I don't remember that.
In the final episode, they end up on Titanic. That's where it just got finished. They ended up on Titanic, and that were it.
Okay, I don't remember that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because, I mean, there was some, like, insane episode, like the aliens. They met these aliens, they all wore silver suits.
Yeah, I remember the silver suits.
Yeah, and one of them were called OTT, Official Time Travelers. Like, over the top.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly an appropriate name, anyway.
Yeah, Michael Ansara were in it.
Michael Ansara. He played a Klingon starter, didn't he?
Yeah, there were just some ridiculous episodes, but the Irwin Allen used loads of stock footage from other movies to make it grander, and they had to contain his spending because he just lost the plot on it.
Yeah.
But there was going to be a second season.
Yeah. So I assume it was cancelled because of it wasn't popular or whatever.
It was too expensive to make it. It was very expensive. The set alone, just for the time tunnel itself and the control room, it was 2 sound stages long. That's how long it was.
Yeah. It's amazing that they made that, but it's just a shame that they couldn't. If they'd have made that, you would think that they'd at least trying to get some more episodes so they could get it syndicated, get it out there, get it sort of like. But we both heard of it. We're both aware of it. So. And I think that I've always thought that some of the premise of the Stargate series was, Cheyenne Mountain with their base with the Stargate always reminded me a bit of the time tunnel
Yes.
network or the actual main place where you disembark, the actual tunnel itself, always reminded me a bit of the Stargate for that similar reason. So, favourite episodes. What episodes are the ones that struck you as the best ones?
If you want one like the intelligent episode, my favourite ones when they went into the future and everybody wearing funky outfits and it were all like disco-like technology and stuff. But if you want an intelligent episode, there's an episode where they go back to Pearl Harbor, and is it James down to find his dad? It's where he died.
Yes,
and it's quite a powerful episode. And there is some classic episodes in there. Oh, when Merlin the magician turns up in the tunnel as well.
I'm gonna have to watch. I am going to have to watch them all again. I have not seen it for a long time, which is why it's good to sort of bounce back off you the episodes. I mean, like I said, I remember the Michael Ansara one. I remember the Silver Future People one, and I remember that they do go to the future, but it was very rare. There's your phone again, mate.
I know. But it's. I mean, there is a connection to the time machine.
In what way?
Whit Bissell, the General Hayward Kirk, who was in charge of it all. He was in the time machine.
Oh, don't tell me. He was one of the people in at the beginning when he comes in and says he comes back from the future and he shows him the little toy time. Yes, he was.
Yes, yeah, brilliant.
And that actor, of course, appeared in Star Trek. He was in The Trouble of Tribbles as well.
Yeah. Oh God, yes, he was. He was the K7 space.
Yes, and he also appeared in The Incredible Hulk as well. Sorry to yes, he did.
You have to get that in.
No. He appeared in the first. Not the first. The episode. Is it Prometheus? The one where the Hulk is stuck halfway in between.
Oh, that's my two favourite episodes of that.
I know, that's my two favourite as well.
Yeah.
I'm married as well. Sorry, I'm not going to keep talking about The Incredible Hulk.
No.
I love that series. But anyway,
have you got the whole box set of it then?
I've got a digital copy of everything. Yeah. Yeah, of course I have.
All right. No, that's cool. 5 seasons on it.
It was 4 seasons and a short fifth season, but it was short. It was only about a few episodes. Then the guy who was running Universe or wherever canned it. He hated it and he wanted it canned, and they cancelled it. And then Bixby got it back. But anyway, not talk about that. Talk about Time Machine. But another thing series that I think was heavily influenced by this series, which followed it, which of course was Quantum Leap.
Yes, I love Quantum Leap.
And Quantum Leap is definitely one which we're going to have to focus on as well soon.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
The only advantage, the thing is, Time Tunnel, one of the only negatives about it is that it didn't really have like the number of episodes like Star Trek or say Quantum Leap. 30 episodes is good, but I think the more successful series normally have at least 2 or 3 seasons under their belt, especially with the number of episodes they used to make back then. You know what I mean?
In the season 2, now the interesting thing is in the second season it was planned that they was going to get back, and then every week they did missions, and that's where it was going to go, and that was the plan, but that never happened. But in the 90s they actually made a sequel.
Oh, did they? I never heard of that.
I can send you the pilot episode tonight from YouTube. They tried to bring it back. It was, and what you just said about Hadron Collider, it was a collider where this accident happened, and it enabled they could send people back.
Right.
The thing is, time outside the installation was changing. They was trying to change it all back, and the pilot episode for this series. It's got the original music sort of mixed in, same characters, but it just never worked. Thing is, they did put a lot of production value, but it was the time tunnel was in a Hadron Collider. I'll send you it straight after this.
So, did you actually see the time tunnel again? Did they actually make it?
It's not like it was an accident. It was a collider, and something happened.
So, but it was linked. But did it actually reference the original time tunnel? Then did it?
Yeah. The music does, the opening credits, and the characters are all the same names.
Oh, okay.
It is pretty terrible. It's because something happened. The control something like a time storm. That's how they open.
Right.
The storm, sort of. I think it appears in the collider, and you can walk in, but you only get so much time wherever you're going. But the problem is all this messing about the vault of reality all the time outside, and they're trying to get it back to what it was. But I think that was the premise. I can send you the pilot episode.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I love those sort of ideas. I mean, I've always been a big fan of alternate timelines and things like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do remember that the time tunnel, it was mostly based in the past, though, was it? Like I said, it was only the last. I mean, I don't remember this reference to the Titanic in the last episode that you talked about, but I do remember.
No, they just end up on it in the final episode. They have a new episode, but you know when they at the end of each episode they sort of reappear somewhere else, don't
and then that's like they build up to the next episode. It's like a sort of cliffhanger.
And it just finished like that. That was it.
What did I remember that? I'm gonna dig it out after I've done this and just go into the last scene of the last episode to see whether I've got it.
Yeah,
because I don't remember
that. For some reason, that senator's there who were going to shut it down for the first episode. I don't know what he's doing there, but he's there again. Yeah. So that's how it finished. It's such a shame because it was good. They did go into the future a few times. They went to Mars.
Did they?
There was one with rockets where they went 10 years ahead. And there was one set in the 70s, and then they ended up in one episode where they were a million years in future, where they met the bee people. Don't ask.
The bee people.
Now
this is no, seriously, right? I mean, I'm going to go into the episode guide here because how come I thought I'd seen all the episodes, but you're telling me stuff I don't remember at all.
Right.
Let's have a look. I mean, you could be having a big laugh, Roland. This could be a big joke.
No, I'm honestly, I'm not.
Okay.
Because I didn't realise. I've watched it like for years, and then I realised, I thought in final episode always escape man, they're back on Titanic, and they ended up back on Titanic, and that's where it just finished. It should tell you on Wikipedia.
So when they end up back on the Titanic, you don't know whether it's near to when they were there the first time.
The what?
Well, when they were there the first time, then they went back to the time tunnel. Was it? Well, I suppose you couldn't tell, really, could you?
Yeah, well, they have, like, in the 30th episode, they end up in some adventure somewhere. I think it's in the 1970s where these aliens have took over this town and they turn up. And then when they get beamed out at the end of episode, they end up on Titanic, and it finishes in control room where they're all like, look, it's like they put stock footage in from the first episode. I'm looking.
I mean, the last episode, it says the episode is called Town of Terror. And
it
says
in
1978.
the end of the episode.
Okay, well, it says in that episode because obviously it was 78, which would have been 10 years ahead of when they made it. I think they made it about 68. There's Doug and Tony. You have to stop aliens from stealing all the oxygen from the planet Earth. And then the one before is Raiders from Outer Space. And then it's terrible. The Kidnappers, Merlin the Magician, Attack of the Barbarians, The Death Merchant, Chase Through Time, Pirates. Oh, there's loads of episodes. Billy the Kid, Isle of Death, Wall of Jericho, Ghost of Nero. Yeah, I definitely want to see it. What's
the town of Terror at the end of it? They end up back on Titanic.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, it's only for about a minute. It just finishes where they're just, when they used to land, they're always like rolling on the floor, aren't they?
Yeah, the slow motion rolls.
Yeah,
yeah.
They're in I always thought
that. They're sort of like sort of sound as they're going. Yes. Can you do the sound?
Whether they're not like oscilloscope thing where they're floating around.
And then they fall down, and they always fall down in slow motion for some reason. And then I don't know why they do that. And they go boom, boom, and then they're there.
And why have they got the same clothes on every week? Because there's one episode, right, where they're in the past and they've got the clothes on at past. And when they beam them out at the end,
they change. It changed back.
Past disappear. They're back in the clothes again. I'm thinking, are you gonna need to wash your clothes? I
know. Well, are they going to skid marks on their underpants or what?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What about their skids?
You'd be like, mate, you need a bath.
Sniff my skids in 1983.
But it's like the clothes reappear everywhere. And I seem to remember an episode where they actually it goes ping, and their clothes appear. What? Yeah, I don't know. It just happens every week.
That's as stupid as Manimal having his clothes suddenly appear at the end of when he's transferred back from a Black Panther.
Oh God, don't start me on about
Manimal. We've got to do this job.
Bloody
Manimal.
Manimal.
We've got to do Manimal at some point. Anyway.
I just had an idea how our hero can fight.
Oh. Okay. Who?
Yeah, I mean Manimal.
Well, okay. We'll have to do that.
I don't know. It's up to you, but it's. I mean, Manimal did a pop up in another TV series.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah, I did.
Which is quite interesting.
Because I was going to do a review about it. I've got. Do you remember Darkman?
No, I know the name.
Nightman. Oh, they made this series, this superhero in the 90s on Sky One. It were absolute wank.
Right.
It was, but he gets it by the power of the universe. He's like a jazz. He's this like muscly fella who wears vests and he's a jazz singer, but he gets it by power of the universe. And he meets this like nerdy guy who builds him a suit and he's flying around everywhere. He's called Johnny Summit, and they're all called Summit. Johnny, aren't they?
Here's Johnny.
And he fights crime. Well, in one episode, he meets Manimal. This was after he'd been cancelled a couple of years. He meets him because this guy's after him to take his powers, and they both team up and stop.
So I think the actor was called Simon McCorkindale. What a memory, eh? So he was back as Jonathan, whatever his name was, Jonathan Price, whatever his name was.
Yeah, and so they teamed up, and Nightman and Manimal. Yeah, he changed into a. I don't know. He changed it to a bird, and he used the power of the universe and stopped this guy. I mean, it was just wank.
Yeah,
it was sheer wank. If I can find the clip on YouTube, I'll send it to you.
All right, mate. That's brilliant. Thank you for that. Now we're going to go into the next Predator versus in a second, but before we did that, I heard from on YouTube one of our followers, a guy called Trek Fan 68. He's often replies and gives us a thumbs up. He asked, and I think you might have already, I can't remember, have you done Predator versus Captain Kirk? You did, didn't you?
Oh, God, he mentioned that the other day.
That's why I'm asking. I can't remember if you did that or not.
No, I don't think we've done Predator versus Captain Kirk, no.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, so look, Trek Fan 68, we will do your idea, but we've got the one tonight, we've got Manimal, so, but we'll put it in the queue. So thank you for your suggestion. I appreciate it. Thank you for your positive comments on YouTube as well. But we'll definitely do that.
I'll work out a scenario for Predator versus Manimal. But you know who tonight is.
Oh God! And you got me doing it. Okay. All right. Are you ready for this then?
Yeah, before I did watch a couple of his videos.
Oh God. Well, I've not seen him for a long time. I'm just going to go with it and see what happens. Here we go. Here's the jingle.
Predator versus.
The smile's on your face. You feel good. We're going to start with the shoulders, all right? Just push it up to the ears. Here we go. Take it up and down. If you want to do it with a sit, that's okay. Good. All right. Let's try the other side. Come here. Come on. Take it up and down. I hope you guys are ready for this. Ow!
All right, so this week it is Predator versus Mr. Motivator.
Give me a 1 and give me a 2 and have a squat.
I remember he kept going, Kuh-huh, kuh-huh. So anyway, it's the 1980s, and of course the Predator has gone through the various decades on Earth to fight things, and the Predator lands in the UK outside TVAM. He's looking for his next target. It's quite early in the morning. It's about 4:30 in the morning, and he's looking, and there's not many people around. And he goes into the studio, crashes through the window, and he's sort of like he's using his infrared vision, and he sees someone on the floor in the corner, and it's Mr. Motivator, and he's doing press-ups. And Mr. Motivator's doing press-ups, and then the Predator starts to go over and look at him like, I want to kill you. And so Mr. Motivator jumps up, and then what he does is he realises that the Predator wants to kill him. So what he does, first of all, he does a roly-poly. He does a roly-poly towards him, and then he stops him, and he kicks him in the chest. And the Predator falls down. And the Predator is obviously very strong, and he jumps back to his feet very quickly. Mr. Motivator thinks to himself, well, what do I do here? And then what happens is, on the side by the window, there's one of those, those really long sort of window hooks where you can actually open up windows above your head.
Yes.
And he grabs to that, and he starts to sort of whack the Predator. And the Predator is caught off guard, and he actually smashes the edge of his infrared helmet. And so, because Mr. Motivator's a strong guy, and he says, "Hey, fool, what are you doing? Cahoon!" So don't forget, he does the cahoon every few seconds. And so the Predator, because he's given his helmet such a hard whack, his infrared sight vision is no longer working very well, and he has to take it off. And then so Mr. Motivator then gets the window closer, and he realises that the actual top of it is loose, and he pulls it off, and he realises that the top of the actual window closer is quite sharp and pointed. And he throws it at the Predator, and it hits him right in the forehead, and it actually almost goes through his skin, but he's still alive. And so the Mr. Motivator is looking very sort of like, I've won this, I've sorted it out. And the Predator... I was going to say, the Predator then, he realises that Mr. Motivator is no fool, and he manages to sort of get to his feet. I'm going off the cuff of saying this and just saying, I just make it up as I'm going along.
There's this battle going on in studio, but is Mr. Motivator, he's got talents, he's got a bung bag.
Yeah.
He wears spandex.
He does. And what he does is he jumps on top and does some sort of press ups,
manoeuvres.
Yeah, and he does some kickboxing and stuff, and the Predator's really thrown for a six.
But the music kicks in the background, where the morning music, because the hi-fi gets it.
Oh yeah.
The music kicks in, and he becomes full-on wanker mode, being Mr. Motivator.
And then some people actually are now hearing this in the studio, and they're coming in now, and they're starting to sort of say, "What's going on here?" And then Mr. Motivator, then what is it? I thought this out. I'm going to think what he did.
He starts doing his aerobic modes, and when Predator's laser gun's a bit knackered, and a few bolts go off, but he's doing a squat and he's doing
and what happens is he actually aims his laser at Mr. Motivator, who then decides to do a few press-ups, and he fires the laser at Mr. Motivator just as he lowers in the press-up. But unfortunately, the laser behind it, there's a mirror, and then the laser bounces back off the mirror, and it blows off the Predator's sort of half of his face, but somehow he's still alive. And then he then thinks, then he reaches for his arm, and then he slides back the panel, and there's these 5 little sort of boxes with lights, and then he presses this button, and then it starts going. So it's timing down, and it's going to blow up the whole studio. And Mr. Motivator says to his friends, "Let's get out of here!" And they all run out. The studio blows up. The Predator's dead, and he survives. The end.
Good God, you just did marvellous.
Terrible.
Marvellous.
That was
right.
terrible.
Well, you did marvellous there.
I mean, do you normally just think it through, or just off the cuff, or do you write it down before I ask you?
I write down some of that. I watch like a few minutes of stuff, and I try to look at the funny side of the character, and then try to sort of put it in. But some friends of mine, I was out the other week, and said, because they listen, they said, "Who's Predator fighting this week?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Who do you want Predator back?" And I would expect him. I said, "Well, I said to me, my friend said to me, I said, well, would you like him to fight?" He said, "Well," I said, "What, Van Damme, Chuck Norris?" He said, "No, Mr. Motivator." I said, "Oh,
God.
Fuck off." He said, "No, I want Mr. Motivator." And he said, "I want him to win as well."
Well, of course, I'm going to have to find Mr. Motivator's voice for the opening jingle of that, when he goes, "Cahoon," or something. So some rubbish he says. So there we are.
You did superb, my friend. You did superb.
Thank you very much. That was a tough one. That was a tough insight. Next week it goes back to you for the storyline, I'm afraid. Maybe we should do alternate.
Captain Kirk next week, then.
Yeah, let's do Captain Kirk and do the animals. So Trek Fan 68 rather. We'll listen to your suggestion, and next week, there we go. You're going to get your request.
Yeah, I think he's only won once, hasn't he?
I think he first started off okay, but recently, I think he lost to Worf, and I think he lost to Tilk, and he's lost to Nick
John McClane.
Yeah, and he also Doc Cotton as well. He lost to Doc Cotton.
Yes.
And now he's lost to, I don't know. Anyway,
Right.
interesting. Always an interesting segment. So thank you for that, and we'll see how it goes next week. Right, change the subject quickly now. It's time for some recent bloopers. These are the bloopers from not last week, but recently. It's about 3 minutes long. Do you want to give this a listen? Because I always think this is quite fun to give a play to.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
All right, so let's give this a play, and let's see how they go. Here we go. Hang on, it would help if I turn the volume on. Let's start that again. Right, here we go.
How could I have been so completely wrong?
Solar One Sci-Fi bloopers.
Hello? Hello? I can hear loads of static. Because he's got the infinite sack, he can pull anything out.
Oh, so what's he pulling out of his sack?
Well, that's
That's the worst thing I've ever asked, I think, on a podcast.
yeah.
That's a blooper. Go on. You just have to hope that what happens in Iraq and Iran will be okay. So there we go.
All right.
There goes your phone again. Oh, okay.
All right.
That sounded Star Wars. What was that?
It's my phone. Hang on. Hello? Yeah, can I have to phone you back? All right.
Oh God. That's a
The other
blooper.
half.
That's that. If you don't mind, I'll have to add that to the bloopers.
No, I'm waiting for someone to, go. It's always, every time I sit down and watch Doctor Who, somebody phones me up.
Oh no, I'm the same. Once I've actually seen it about 2 or 3 more times. That's that.
Oh, no, it's my phone.
Oh, fine. This program is brought to you by the makers of delicious Soylent Red and Soylent Yellow. And introducing... fluff that up. Let's start that again.
Okay, all right.
Right, here we go. Bringing you another show talking about podcast, talking about sci-fi and podcast.
What I liked about that, I know he died penniless.
Oh, it goes fine.
Another blooper.
Yeah, it's another blooper. It's all right, it'll ring. Always rings when we do the recording. Give it a second. It'll stop at about 2 rings. There we go. Sorry, carry on what you're saying. What about... Oh, do you want to do Stargate SG-1? It's a big one. Oh, bugger, he's gone. Okay. You've gone. He's gone. Right. Sorry, everybody. Let's try ringing back.
Hello, can you hear me now?
All right. So, sorry, we had a technical issue there.
There was a channel on YouTube, the Stargate channel. They put lots of clips up. And
there you go.
what happened was they set up this website and then they wanted to pay to watch all the episodes.
Do you want to answer your phone?
I'll phone them.
Blooper. Go on, carry on what you're saying. And it's the Stargate... now my phone's going again. It's about 10 seconds for us to be wrapping up the show.
Oh, no.
And hang on a minute. It's gone. Right. There we go. So lots of phone interruptions in those bloopers. I won't be doing... Go on.
So I have a music request from a friend of mine in Leeds who listens. He likes the podcast. He wanted to know, have you heard of Spiz Energy? Where's Captain Kirk?
Is it on YouTube? Let's have a look.
I don't know. He said he said when he likes the song at the end. He really likes that bit.
I've heard of that. Yeah, I found it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll have that.
Well, whenever you want. He just asked. He said, "Could they play that?" Because he listens in. He phoned me up. That the person who were phoning that 3 times. That was him who was phoning up. He got that. That was him.
So now he's contributing twice. Yes, I'll put that at the end of the show. There we go. Actually,
Thank you, Gary in Leeds.
Actually, we'll be wrapping up very soon. On that note, actually, let's just go straight into it. So that'll be fine. Anything else that you want to talk about until we finish that? I think we just about covered everything, haven't we?
No, I'm going to get back to my desk and shout and ball, I think.
Well, good luck with that. I'll get back to doing some more 3D printing. Martin, that was a great show. I think we should also talk about Quantum Leap soon because that series... had a very similar premise, but it lasted a lot longer, and it also had a very, very good chemistry between Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell as their two respective characters. So, just before we go, which did you prefer, the Time Tunnel or Quantum Leap?
You've got me there.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? They're both very good, and they're very similar.
I love them both, but Quantum Leap did run for 5 years, so I'm going to say Quantum Leap.
Yeah, I would have to say, I'd have to agree. Quantum Leap's for me. But I still love Time Tunnel as well. And thank you for suggesting that for this show. Okay, Martin, on that note, we shall make a move. We'll be back next week. Any ideas? Well, let me have a think what we're going to do next week.
I'd like to cover Enterprise at one point, if that's okay.
Ooh, that'll be our first show focusing on the Star Trek series. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm up for that. Let's do Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise next week. I'll look forward to that, and I'll make sure I do all the graphics for that. That'd be lovely. Martin, thank you very much, sir. We'll be back next week. We'll leave then with Spiz Energy. How do you pronounce it?
You don't know?
No.
I've got it in front of me.
No, it's Spiz Energy.
Spiz Energy. Where's
Captain Kirk? Okay, and we'll catch you on the Solo on Sci-Fi podcast next week. Thank you very much. Yeah. Laters.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Where the f*** is he? Yeah, beam up, Captain, get a move on. Get hold of yourself.
Frankly, Scotty, I find this whole episode quite irrational.